We have solved for sides in a right triangle using the sine ratio. In this video, we are going to solve for sides using the cosine ratio. Cosine, remember, is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So in this example, we're being asked to use the cosine ratio for the given angle and the given sides, and we're going to round to the nearest tenth. So this is our angle, the 70 degrees. C, because it is across from the right angle, is the hypotenuse. And since we're being told we have to use the cosine, we've got a misspell there. This is going to be the adjacent side, the 36. So we have cosine of 76 is going to equal adjacent 36 over the hypotenuse C. Now I would recommend turning this into a proportion. Write that cosine 76 over 1, and we have a proportion. And we can use what we've been calling the butterfly method to rewrite this so that we don't have any fractions. So we have C times cosine of 76 will equal 36 times 1. Well, 36 times 1 is just going to be 36. So how do we isolate C? How do we get that C by itself? Well, to undo a multiplication, we would divide by cosine of 76. So we're going to divide both sides by cosine of 76. So to get our answer, we're going to take 13 and divide it by cosine of 76. So we can go to a scientific calculator, and I'm going to go to desmos.com/scientific. And I'm going to type 36 divided by cosine, and notice how it already makes it into that fraction, 36 divided by cosine of 70. And we have an answer here. I'm going to go ahead and close the parentheses. And even though the answer's there, I'm just going to go ahead and press enter so we have the final answer. Something else I want to point out is you want to make sure that your calculator is in this degree mode and not in the radian mode, because see, that answer changed. So you definitely want that calculator to be in degree mode. And to the nearest tenth, we have 105.25 to the nearest tenth, because 2 is followed by 5, we want to round this to a 3. So 105.3 will be the length of C. So C is approximately 105.3, and we do have units on this one, so we're going to include them, yards. And that's how we would find the length of the hypotenuse using the cosine ratio and knowing that the measure of the acute angle is 70 degrees. Let's try another one. This one, we know the hypotenuse is 17, and what we are looking for is the adjacent of a 53 degree angle. So cosine of 53 will equal x over 17. Again, I would recommend we write this as a proportion, and we can use, it's often called the cross multiply method, but we've been calling it a butterfly method in class. So 17 times cosine of 53 will equal 1 times x. Well, 1 times x is just x, so we're just left with multiplying 17 times cosine of 53. So let's go back to that calculator. 17 times cosine of 53. I'm going to close the parentheses, press enter, And to the nearest tenth, we have 10.23. Because 3 is less than 5, this will stay at 10.2. So if we go back, x is going to be 10.2, or I should say approximately 10.2, because we did round it. I would always recommend writing them as proportions just to help with the multiplication, the simplification. You don't have to, it's just a recommendation I have. And remember, if you're using a scientific calculator to do these, you need to make sure that the calculator is in degree mode.